Transurfing is a pendulum, a very large pendulum, but it is directed against all other destructive pendulums. Their destructiveness lies in the fact that they force a person to march in the general formation. The rule of the pendulum is as follows: do as I do. This rule forces a person to deviate from their life path and march in formation. To follow your own path, you need to step out of the formation and create your own pendulum, your own religion, so to speak. If you become the favorite of a pendulum, create your own business or belief system, then you will be at the top of the pyramid, not in the first rows of this formation. But ultimately, if you are a show business star, a model or a movie star, you will find yourself in the first rows of the formation, because this formation will begin to march behind you as a new standard. But before doing this, it is necessary to first step out of the formation and create your own pendulum. I try to live according to my creed. This means that if I experience emotional discomfort, I try to determine its cause. If I say something, it means that I speak what I know. If I felt discomfort while saying it, I would not feel confident. This would mean that my state of inner harmony would be disturbed, and I do not believe that knowledge that has flaws or cracks can resonate with millions of people. The thing is, until recently, I could not understand why my books, more precisely Transurfing, because I did not invent Transurfing, I'm merely a retransmitter of this ancient, primordial knowledge. It so happened that information comes to me through a certain channel, and I pass it on as I can. It is up to you to decide whether this information is correct or not. Most of the letters I receive from readers say the same thing, that readers feel like they already knew all this knowledge, as if they were ancient souls who simply remembered it when it was laid out before them. People perceive this knowledge as their own. That is why it is successful. If I were completely alone, simply speaking into the void, it would be a different matter. I might doubt myself, and others could judge whether what I say is right or wrong. However, first, everything is confirmed by practice. And second, because people accept this knowledge as their own, and since we are all ancient souls who have lived through thousands of years in past incarnations, I can confidently say that I simply know what I am saying and say what I know. I try not to think about questions like who I am, what is the soul, what is God. Everything I have told you is just a primitive model, a model of reason, a model of transurfing. It is neither right nor wrong. It is simply one of many realities, but it works. That is enough. As for the questions that remain unclear, I am not into mysticism or philosophy. I am tired of thinking about how the world is structured and engaging in self-reflection. I do not dwell on such questions. I am a practical person. What brings practical results interests me. The rest has long been said in different interpretations, however one prefers. So, in my opinion, the only criterion for correctness and necessity is practical value. I do not fight against anything because, as I have said, fighting is pointless. When you fight against the world fights back because it is a mirror. I do not want to be like a kitten scratching at a mirror. Fighting against pendulums is also pointless. The more effort you put into this struggle, the more energy you give to the pendulum, as it feeds on your energy. That is exactly what it needs. Vanity is a natural human trait. When a stream of admiring letters came to me, of course I had some small, unpleasant thoughts of self-priorities, but that quickly passed because I quickly got used to it. To my pleasure, or rather, to my happiness, I stopped reacting to it. I was put on a pedestal, made into some kind of figure that I essentially am not. However, I remain an ordinary person with weaknesses and shortcomings. Pendulums still affect me too. They toss me back and forth, and I make mistakes. I continue to make mistakes. I am not perfect. I can only advise you one thing. Do not judge yourself for mistakes. Allow yourself the luxury of making mistakes. You do not need to fight against yourself or the surrounding world. When you stop fighting, you will gain freedom from things like vanity, guilt complexes, inferiority complexes, and other chips that are embedded in the mind. I am not afraid, but I do not want to live to an age where old age becomes a burden to myself and those around me. When you are sick and incapable of anything, there are two options for people like me. Either live life to the fullest, burn bright like a match and burn out completely, or live long and fully, experiencing everything. But to get everything from life, you need high energy levels. When you are capable of creating, when after work you do not just want to sink into a chair in front of the TV but want something more. When you have the means to fulfill your desires, then that is a truly full life. Natural food personally gave me this high energy. I feel much better now than I did, say, 30 years ago, when I was a teenager, full of energy, attempting reckless things like doing backflips of ski reps. Compared to the energy state I had then, I feel much better now. So, in this regard, understand, when you stop eating dead food, at first it seems extreme. You crave tasty food because everyone around you eats and drinks delicious things. But when you gradually switch to natural food, you make an incredible discovery. Dead food tastes awful. I do not follow a strict raw diet, but I eat raw seafood, raw fish, raw shrimps, raw